Hi guys, welcome to something new. I actually got this idea from one of my favorite YouTubers, Chilled Chaos, and I honestly thought this game cost something for me to play it. When I found out that it didn't, I was like super excited. So it's called Katawa Shoujo. Um, it's kind of like a romance graphic novel type thing. You'll see what it like the gist of it once I get into it, but this is probably one of my favorite like graphic novel games that I've seen, and one of my favorite games in general, just because I like the way it looks and stuff like that, and it's pretty cool, you know. So we'll just get into it. A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. The deciduous trees provide a beautiful green canopy far out of sight of teachers and fellow students. Give me a second, I have to cough. Excuse me. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in this cold. Hisao. Just how long am I expected to wait out here, anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Ah yes, the note slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan of the letter in the locker, but at least this way shows a bit of initiative. Words. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently. I can't read. I'm too tired. Okay. The snowflakes silently falling from the white painted sky are the only sign of time passing in this stagnant world. Their slow descent upon the frozen forest make it seem like time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupts the quiet mood. Someone is approaching me from behind. Hisao, you came. A hesitating, barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice just instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never as more than an eavesdrop to a conversation. I turn to face the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. Aww. Hey, he kinda looks like me, if only he had blue eyes and darker hair. And now, Yamanaka, I got a note telling me to wait here. Is it yours? Damn it, I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line and that was the result. Pathetic. Yes, I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. Oh shit. This isn't good. My heart is pounding now. As if it were trying to burst out of my chest and claim the girl for itself. I haven't actually watched this in a while, so I don't remember any of the storyline at all. This is like the only part of the story that I remember is the beginning part where he's talking to this Iwanaka girl, or whatever her name was. So, here we are, out in the cold. We should probably get inside. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches. The cacophonious noise is music to my ears. Iwanaka flinches every so often against the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine as she lazily twirls her long, dark hair around her fingers. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out if I tried. You see, I wanted to know if you'd go out with me. You're gonna kill him in Naoka. He can. Oh god, This isn't gonna be good. I stand there, motionless, save for my pounding heart. I wanted to say something or reply, but my vocal cords felt like they'd been stretched beyond the breaking point. Hisao? I reach up to try to message my throat. It only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arm. Hisao? My whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shot open in terror. Hisao! The beating in my chest suddenly stops, and I go weak at the knees. The world around me, the canopy of the bare branches, the dull winter sky, and Wanaka running towards me, all of this fades to black. The last thing I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Uwanaka screaming for help and the innocent clatter of the branches above. Insistent clatter, okay. So yeah, that's how it starts. It's very depressing. And since it's like a graphic novel, the game is, there aren't too many cutscenes. That's like one of the only cutscenes I think in this game, but that's probably the best one out of all of them because every time you progress in a story, there's going to be a different cutscene for the person that you're choosing and what path you're along. So that's how it kind of hints you like who you might end up like being with and stuff like that. So it's been 4 months since my heart attack. Are those flower petals? I think so. And that whole time I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. For months. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts, so I've had plenty of time to continue to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. A strange word, a foreign alien one. One that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition, it causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently I've had it for a long time. They said it's a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. That would suck. Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my work, my life. It really didn't do anything to cheer me up. Hisao is so depressed right now. I don't blame him. He almost died because of a heart condition he's had since he was probably born. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. Excuse me. They were all even willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. Wow. Of course, there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I realized that only one reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me Their sympathy had been turned into a class project. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came on a regular basis. Iwanaka was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We had that much to talk about when she visited anyways. Dang. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. The hospital? It's not really a place I'd like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they are in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them. But it makes sense for me to feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but he told me to wait and see if the treatments and surgeries worked. So I idly observed the scar that those surgeries had left on my chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of omen. I still asked the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore. When I don't get a reply, the way he shuffles around, the answer shows there is at least some hope. At some point, I stopped watching TV. I don't know why. I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more like a storeroom for books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and that I liked even becoming a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hand. Without a book in my hands. Okay. But I loved the stories. That was what my life was like. The day became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mass I was trapped inside, instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was, but other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness through the barrier of nonchalance I had set up for myself. The pages of my book would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. I wouldn't blame you, dude. If you're gonna cry, do it. This is like dark and depressing. But that happened only rarely. And I couldn't even cry. Today the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I've last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a party. There is this ritual in my head There is this ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes time sorting his papers, then setting them aside, as if making a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits down on the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks me in the eyes for a moment. Hello? Hello, Hisao. How are you today? I don't answer him, but I smile a little back at him. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions, you should be fine. We have all your medication sorted out. I'll give your father the prescription. The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many. I take it from his hand and take a look at myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? Oh my. The absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from the paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letter. Dang, dude. I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to read that. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, contradictions, and dosages are listed line after line with cold precision. I try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it, attempting to only make me feel sicker. All this for the rest of my life, every day. I'm afraid that is the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years. What kind of confidence booster is that? I'd have felt better if he hadn't said anything at all. Also, I spoke with your parents. We believe that it would be best if you don't return to your old school. What? Please calm down, Hisao. Listen to what the doctor has to say. Calm down? The way he says it tells me he knew full well that I wouldn't like it. Am I going to be homeschooled? Whatever my concern shows, it's ignored. We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about the transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled children. Students, whatever. Disabled? What? Am I? It has 24-hour nursing staff and is only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of students live on the campus. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. Independence is a school for disabled kids. Don't try to disguise that fact. If it really was that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't have to make a hospital being nearby a selling point. Of course, that's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look a couple of weeks back. I think you'd like it. It looks like I really don't have a choice. Compared to the other heart problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamn opportunity. Well, you should be excited at the chance to get back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school, and while it's not the same one, a special school, that's an insult. I didn't get to read it. Oops, I hit space. It's not what you think. All of the students there are pretty active in their own way, sort of way. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help in one way or another. Your father's right, and many of the graduates of the school have gone on to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something so important was decided for me, but what can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now. It's funny. I always had thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction and shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now, something about how I could go back to school anyway, but no. I don't say anything. The fact is that I know it's futile. I look around the room feeling very tired of all this. The hospital doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel better, that would make me feel any different. There really isn't a choice. I know this. But the thought of going to a disabled school, what are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try. A clean slate isn't a bad thing. This is all I can think of to get me through this. At least I still have something. Even if it's a special school, it's something, it's a fresh start, and my life isn't over. It would be a mistake to resign myself to thinking that. At the very least, I'll try to see what my new life will look like. There you go, Hisao. Now here's one of the very few cutscenes in the thing. These will probably be relatively long episodes just because each section is kind of long, and like the text and stuff itself is kind of long. So I'm gonna say on an average it'll probably be maybe 35 to 45 minutes. Don't quote me on that because I'm not sure, but I'm gonna say it'll probably be somewhere between 35 to 45 minutes, depending on when the next sequence ends and how long I want the video to be. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, the gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and gray plaster assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wondered if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but I couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course, I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Yeah, if you have a condition and you're going to a disabled school, the gate should be the worst of your thinking. So, just saying, oh, that gate. What about it? I don't like it. Nope. Moving forward feels good. That's not a bad-looking campus. So I walk toward the main building of Yamaku Academy. With this brisk pace, I'm alone, as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have, more like a park, with a clean walkway going past trees, and the smell of fresh-cut grass, and all other park-like things. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my head. It makes me shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies, too big and too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It is uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school, in the back of my head it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real or caused by my expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. It's kind of eerie. It makes me wish there was somebody here so I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind and the green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. It makes me think about hospitals again. Well, they say that the operation rooms are painted green because green is a calming color. So why am I feeling so anxious despite all of the greenery? ... Only after I stand in front of the haunty main building, I surprise myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, and if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous and with this realization set in my head, I opened the front door. A tall man with a bad posture notices me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. You must be... Nika? Nakai? I don't know how to say that name. Oh, I was supposed to... Well... So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom science teacher. My name is Mutao. Welcome. We exchange a handshake that is neither formal nor sloppy, and he looks at his watch. I can see this guy being an old, raspy dude. Well, not old, but just having a deep, raspy voice. The head nurse asked for you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon is probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're already waiting. Well, I flipped those around, so that's okay. Waiting for me? I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I almost miss out what the teacher saying. Do you want to introduce you to the class? Sure. Yeah, sure. I mean, isn't that normal?
Of course, but not everyone likes to be the center of attention.
I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression of myself. Right, but it's no problem.
Let's go then.
My voice hurts, so I can't do the raspy voice all that well. My heart is pounding in my chest, and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. Whoops, I muted. Okay, there we go. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as the classroom for class 3-3. Katawa opens the door and enters.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again.
You were late before? You should get fired. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step, I know that. But there isn't any point to worrying so much about it, at least not this soon. Hello, everybody. I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around, partially so I won't have to meet the curious gaze of my new classmates. Everybody looks so happy to be there, especially the blonde dude in the beret. Really, I think that's a beret. He's just like, whatever. Did you get punched, or are you missing an ear? I don't know. It's pretty spacious. The ceiling is unusually high, and there's a lot of space left over around and in between the desks. The entire wall taken up by blackboards, and the high, old-fashioned window only makes it seem larger. The student desks are just standard wooden desks, with the shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames. Simple and efficient. I stop walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like students in any other school. But then why would they be here? They'll probably be like me, something wrong with them. Or it's not just not immediately obvious. Then I notice that one of the girls seems to be missing the thumb on her right hand. It's just a little jarring. Oh my god, the guy in the back of the classroom is asleep. That's funny. I'm trying to see the person he's talking about who's missing a thumb. I don't see him. Oh well. Despite the natural tendency to listen when someone's talking about you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. I notice a flash of dark hair and see that someone is looking at me. A girl with really long straight hair that is pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if it will make her invisible. There is one boy with a cane leaning against the locker at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motions. Sign language? She peers at me over the rims of her glasses and then goes back to whatever she's doing. She's kinda cute. So is the cheery-looking girl with pink hair sitting next to her. She's really hard to miss. I don't know how I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. Holy crap, she has huge eyes. Please welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hands, and so does everyone else, except one girl in the first row who has only one hand. I cringe a little, but hide it down, bowing thankfully for the applaud I did not deserve. A collective silence tells me that I should open my mouth now. So, I'm Hisao Nakai, and after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along with everyone even though I'm a new student. And after that, I'm being so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever. I should say something more exciting. I end up saying nothing, and the teacher picks up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied, even with what little I said, though a few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. It could have gotten worse. ... I listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps. What? The first row girl claps this round with her one hand against her other wrist that ends in a bandaged stump. Okay. It makes me feel a little bad.
We're gonna be doing some group work today, so that'll give you the chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
That's good. You can work with Hakamashi. She's the class representative. She can explain anything you might want to know. And who else would be able to do that better, right?
Now that I think about it, I feel like Chilled Chaos did that kind of voice for him. Okay, well that might be the only voice I copy from him, so sorry Chilled, but how could I know? How could I know? I don't remember. The teacher passes out the day's assignments and announces that we will be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who Hakamachi is, so the teacher seems to catch my hopeless expression.
Alright, Hakamashi is right there. Shizune Hakamachi.
As he calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window. Is there a way for me to save yet? Apparently not. Hey, I guess you're Hakamashi, right? It's nice to meet you. Ha ha ha! Oh no. She's crazy. What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but I'm not Hakamachi, I'm Mishi. This is Hakamashi Shachan. I don't know how to say that. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her. The one I saw using sign language before. It looks like she has been staring at me this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short yet careful, neatly brushed hair with a pair of oval-shaped glasses, balanced on the tip of a dainty nose and dark blue eyes that seem to alternate every few seconds between the Why can I pronounce? I can't pronounce anything. Between analytical and slightly bored. Okay. It's nice to meet you. ... She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamashi nods and honestly, Misha sounds like she'd be a girly girl, so I'm gonna make her a girly girl. I start to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, you'll be able to talk to other people, and who better to explain things to you. I can see you're a little confused, right? Right, but I understand why you would think I was Chan. The Chan is deaf, so I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like an interpreter! She says it's nice to meet you too. Thank you. ... You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Chan, of course, he is. If he wasn't, he would have been standing up there for no reason, right? He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? I'm right here. We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here today, so soon. Chan, right? Chan? Yep, it fits, doesn't it? I say it out loud. It's just a surprise. I've never liked that nickname. I don't really see how. It fits. You look just like I imagined. Sure. ... Haha. Yeah, you look just like a Hichan. I wonder why everyone seems to think so. ... Hakamashi taps her finger on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly, their hands a blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Chan wants to know that she's the class rep. What? Chan wants you to know that she's the class rep, so if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. But she's deaf and I don't know sign language. ... Do you like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had the time to walk around. Familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbles with her hard word a bit, making it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. I wish I could do that. Thanks, that would be pretty helpful. Yeah, I kinda came straight to class today. ... Oh god. That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you go there. Not just with the school, either. Always, even if it's a trip to the convenience store, really, Sichan, haha. Learn about where you're going, I guess. I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to go along with half-assedly, but anyways. I don't say anything, and Misha signs something that ends in a shrug. What was that? It seems like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling, but that shrug hit me unexpectedly deep. You look down. Are you okay? No, I'm not fine. ... Don't take that the wrong way, please. I hate when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal, as much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed a test. Well, I just got moved to a disabled school. You know, after heart problems. So, I guess they don't know that yet. She's gonna be the Wicked West. Wicked Witch of the West. Alright, she's gonna be the Wicked West Witch. That's how it was gonna come out originally. ... Ah, and another thing, you don't have to call Sichan something so formal like Hakamashi or class rep all the time. Just call her Sichan. ... Why is she blushing? Okay, maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. ... Okay. Yep, Shizune is fine. Okay, that will be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly, but I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier, especially about Shizune, who I assume would be all business. Well, she still seems like that, just less so, I guess. ... Exclamation point. Huh? Oh right, we haven't even touched the assignment. We should start working now, or Sichan will get mad. The assignment is also kind of long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the class ends. Wahaha, that too. ... Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't need to know sign language to understand that. Nope, you just need to understand facial recognition. Okay, I get the message. ... After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today, okay? The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of being both difficult and unnecessarily long. That's how assignments are supposed to work. I almost said assignments. That's not a word. Still, we finish it in a few minutes. Oh my goodness. Okay. Still, we finish it a few minutes earlier than anyone else in the class. Despite our late start, Shizune and Misha are really capable. They're quite different, though. The class rep is as calm and professional as she looks, and Misha is a lot more playful and girlish. I knew she was girlish, not to mention a little more easily distracted. To be honest, the two of them did most of the work. I feel guilty about that. The clock tower bells ring, signaling the end of the period. Time for lunch. Without knowing what else to do, I follow Misha, who is beckoning to me at the hallway down the stairs. We descend even below the lobby where I meet Matao down to the bottom floor. Just like everything in the school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and oddly modern in contrast to the classic exterior. Okay. Its big windows open to the courtyard towards the main gate. It's the cafeteria! Her enthusiastic statement, the obvious, makes people around us stare. But Misha doesn't seem to care, so we proceed to the line. There's a rather long list of menu options, which seems great until I realize that many of them are to accommodate students who need special diets. How nice. It almost feels like I'm back at the hospital eating portions measured with scientific precision to meet the needs of the patient. They pick something at random and follow Shizune to a table sitting opposite of her. So I wonder if Misha's not actually, disabled. She's just Shizune's translator, because that would make sense. Unless she does have, don't know. I just think she's Sassoon's translator, because I haven't seen anything off about her yet. As I nibble indifferently at the food I'd rather not eat, Misha pokes at me on the side to get my attention and points to Sassoon. ... I don't understand sign, so the point escapes me. Maybe looking at a person who talks to you is proper and polite? Do you want to know something? What? About anything. We're your guides, so you should ask if there is something. I wonder. Ask about the library. Deafness. Ask about the library. Oh yeah, is there a library in the school? Lately I've gotten into reading a lot, so I'd like to check it out. Misha gives the kind of frown that makes it clear she doesn't consider reading a healthy hobby. But then picks up her smile again. Honestly, I don't like reading all that much either, unless it's like murder, mystery, or like action. Other than that, I'm not too much of a reader. Sports. I do like sports books too. Like, right now, for one of my classes, we're reading Friday Night Lights, and it's not too bad. I haven't read too many other sports books other than that, but yeah, so Misha gives me the kind of frown that makes it clear. Okay. There is! It's on the second floor. We can show it to you sometime. Thanks. I return to my food while the girls talk between themselves. Misha and Sassoon sign back and forth very animatedly, throwing sideways glances at me, but Misha refrains from the translating. Maybe they are talking about secret girl stuff or something. ... It's the only thing that makes sense, man. I quickly notice a conversation and sign is not enough to fill a silence. Okay, so I think I can save by pressing escape. I can, okay. I'm gonna save. Okay, new save stat. Okay. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna end this episode here, but I'm gonna keep going, so this session will end and then I'll start the next session. Start uploading the next session too after I edit and stuff, but yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This is a series I'm gonna do no matter what the view rate and stuff is, because I like the storyline. I've been playing for 37 minutes. Impressive. But, yeah. I like the storyline of it. I hope you guys will too. It's kind of unique and stuff, so it's mostly for people that have seen my channel. There might be... I don't remember what I was going to say. Something I might need to blur out. I don't remember for certain, but if there's something I do need to blur out, I can just do that while editing. But thanks for watching, guys, and see you guys in like a little bit.